most recently, I saw you made an announcement to LinkedIn, which here comes your vulnerability again. Hello guys, look at me. I am running a business. I am an author. I'm a Tedx speaker. I'm an educator, been a professor. I have spoken in front of thousands of people, but yet I'm diagnosed with bipolar disorder.
I'm bipolar, which is something I never would have thought to add to my repertoire.
I know. Are you going to add that to your LinkedIn?
I think I am, but put it in the title. I think that when people come to social media, whether it's LinkedIn, whether it's Instagram, they see people with these smiling pictures. They're always on trips. They're in the best relationships. They eat the best food and live their best lives, right?
And I call it the highlight reel.
Highlight reel. And it makes people really feel bad about themselves. Like, well, what's wrong with me? I don't have all of these things going on. And, and I've struggled with this, I struggle with that. So I'll never be able to achieve that. And so what I strive to do is, yes, I've had those types of successes, but I like to also highlight things that maybe I'm not proud of, my mistakes. And then, here lately, my mental health challenge. And, that was something, it took me a few months to okay, am I going to really put this out there? But what was strange was when I kind of disappeared from LinkedIn for several months, as I was dealing with this, and the messages that I got, they're like, Natasha, where are you? I'm just sending you a note. I miss seeing you on my timeline. And I came back and I saw all of that. And I, first of all, just felt so humbled. I'm like, I was missed. Like, people actually miss seeing me on their timeline. People I didn't even know followed me, were sending me these messages. And I really had no excuse for why I was missing, other than this. And so, I started to jump back in there, just pick up where I left off and act like it didn't happen. And just one day, just one night, I was like, I got to share my story. I just have to share my story. And so I told my husband, I said, tomorrow I'm sharing with it's mental health week. I think it's the perfect time to do it. And I'm going to share my diagnosis and my journey and why I was off LinkedIn. And he goes, I truly support you, and he knew it was something that I was ashamed of at first. I was embarrassed. I was ashamed. I thought, what did I do wrong? And it's just something I was literally hospitalized for it, and when you think about someone, typically when you're watching a movie or something and you see people who are committed, as it is at a mental institution or a behavioral health facility, you don't picture people like me. You picture people that are, that appear to be dangerous to themselves or others, talking to themselves, what you see on TV. Here I am, this successful person, and I needed that type of help to help me through this. And I haven't even shared 99% of the story. That's just the beginning. But I was thinking, there are probably so many me's around here that have either had this experience and they too are ashamed or embarrassed to share it, or somebody that needs to have that level of help. But because there's so much stigma and embarrassment around that level of help, they're not asking for it. They're not getting that because they're afraid, I'm going to be looked at differently. I'm not going to be seen as credible anymore. And I wanted to change that. So I said, you know what? I'm going to post this. Maybe one or two people may be inspired or whatever. I did not expect the reaction that I got from it. So over 1.3 million people now know that I have bipolar disorder. That's how many views the post got.
That's like, how many lives you've blessed?
I could not believe I stayed up all night one night going through all of the direct messages. I literally got no sleep going through and responding to every single direct message that I got. And there had to have been at least 500. Because I wanted people to know, if you took the time to write to me, to share your story, that I'm going to let you know that you're being seen and you're being heard. And even if I send just a one word back, I just want to let them know you're being seen, you're being heard. And I appreciate you for reading my story and feeling comfortable sharing your story with me. And the stories that I read were so amazing, so courageous. I was just crying by some of them. And it was just, I think the realization was what I realized was that I got messages from all different races, all different ages, all different socioeconomic, all different kind of countries. I mean, all of these differences, we shared one thing in common. And that one thing was that we had struggled with our mental health.
Yes.
And I realized the impact of mental health and mental illness and across the globe, how the workplace is impacting it. And that will be my focus, for the next year, is to bring these conversations and be vulnerable. And let's talk about mental health. And when you invited me to your podcast, you've been having these conversations for quite some while. You understood that from a long time ago.
Just being in the HR seat I was, and this is my frustration with corporations and corporate America, because they hold the key and you can do better. You can help the people that work for you, right? Because the one thing I've always said is you see people show up to work, but you don't know what's going on up here. That is one thing that people have to themselves. That is a secret, that is sacred, is their mind, their thoughts. And if you think about it, I think everyone has some sort of, that's what when they talk about self-care, we are one thought away from losing it.
Right. That's right.
If you don't get control, and many of us are not diagnosed, okay? It takes a real breaking point for someone to finally, to say, hey, I need help. But people struggle every single day with their own thoughts.